everyone, welcome to Deepdale, where Norwich City have drawn 1-1 here. A bit of a sucker punch and a sickener, to be honest, with the goal coming from Brad Potts in the 95th minute of added time, when there was only 4 added minutes and the referee decided he was enjoying himself too much. This does feel like one of those video reports where if I was a manager, I would probably be wary of getting a fine. And potentially, if Preston fans see this, they'll probably start, sharing it around and calling me bitter and twisted. So we'll see how we get on. But Norwich had taken the lead in the first half, moments after Preston had 2 really, really good chances, to be honest. Norwich had one themselves through Barley Mumba that Everson came out and snaffled up very well. But after that, Preston had 2 very good chances, one great Tim Krul save. So it was a bit of balance in the early exchanges. And Norwich maybe showing some of the legginess that we'd probably expect given the international break some of their players had. But they did score first through Emi Buendia. It was a quite sublime goal in a sublime season that the man's having. He would get my player of the season vote, I have to say. Wonderful goal, wonderful moment, and Norwich showing their quality in difficult circumstances. Maybe he showed too much quality. From that point on, he basically got kicked off the pitch, and eventually he got kicked off with a few minutes to go. But some of the fouls that he was treated to were, well, I felt, I wasn't sure whether I got the degree of sympathy towards Emi when he picked up his red cards right, because there were 2 silly yellows and he has to be clever and he has to be better than that and that sort of stuff. Yeah, of course he does. But I mean, today he's just literally been kicked. He's been kicked off the park. To be honest, his ankle is swollen. Daniel Farker's told me that he is now probably his major concern in terms of fitness wise for the game against Huddersfield at Carrow Road on Tuesday night, which would obviously be a huge blow, especially when you consider Norwich have drawn 2 games and some people might start getting a bit twitchy, although the position Norwich are in is still great, certainly in terms of finishing in the top 2. Watford are flying at the moment, but I just don't understand how you can keep flying into someone's ankle and not. I mean, one of them wasn't even a foul, and Emi was literally sent up in the air. I don't care if he won the ball, and the rules don't care if he wins the ball. If you endanger a player, and if you're sending him in the air, you are endangering a player. How is that not a foul? Never mind a yellow card, which it was as well. There was also a naughty moment, really, where Ledson certainly Emi Buendia felt he stood on his ankle. It certainly wasn't a natural move onto his ankle. Whether he made contact, I don't know, I can't see. But, it was just the repeated hacking of the same part. And it's like, come on. You, as officials, who I have to say, while the game was 1-0, were fairly awful for the most part. I just tried not to say it because I tried to give them I'm trying really hard to understand. I know how hard the job is. I don't want to criticise them, but what do you do when it's like this? And yes, it is football that you just get kicked. And I understand that in Preston's interest, of course you want to take Emi Buendia out of the game, and it's fine. And if that's their chosen tactic, brilliant. The referee has to deal with that. If it's a foul, it's a foul. You don't go, well, yeah, trying to do that, so I'm not going to book him. So yeah. That was how it panned out. Ultimately, Norwich had more than enough chances to win this 3 or 4-0, but they didn't take them. I'm afraid Tim Pukki was probably chief culprit in that. He did hit the underside of the crossbar, so a couple of inches, and Norwich are 2-0 up, and the game's dead, basically, but it bounced back out of play. And Norwich didn't get that second goal. And then, as I said, you're talking about the final seconds of a game where Preston have managed to find a deflected shot and have clawed themselves a point out of a particularly unlikely situation. I would imagine they'll probably be all right this year, but and Frankie McAvoy has just spent about half an hour talking it through his plan for today and the fact they picked up a point. So yeah, how the rest of their season pans out from here, I don't know. Frankie's in temporary charge for the rest of the season. I would imagine he probably wants the job full time, so we'll see for their part, but that's not really our concern, is it? Let's be honest. But what I would say is, obviously, a lot's gone on over the last international break. Max Aarons didn't feature. He had a minor ankle knock, and it's a bit bruised, and he's knackered as well. But I think they're still hopeful that he will play on Tuesday night against Huddersfield. No Dimitris Giannoulis, who basically looked absolutely shattered when he got to Colney, and they were like, "Stay here, mate." And also, it was a good opportunity for Xavi Quintilla to play, and he did well, I thought, mostly. We had Jakob Sorensen in for Ollie Skip, who was on the bench and came on for the last few minutes when Emi got saved from Any More. And Ollie did okay, and Jakob did well too. It's interesting. I think he is a different player to Ollie, and it hasn't got the same athleticism, and I think I've always felt that, but now I've seen him a few more times in midfield. You can see how good he is at using the ball. He's probably more effective footballer in sort of further up the pitch, but it also does seem that the back four is a little bit more exposed than when Ollie's playing, and Ollie can cover a phenomenal amount of ground, and there's a difference. I mean, I'm still not really convinced that Jakob is a natural fit for the role Ollie does, maybe for the role Kenny does, but feels like there's a bit more defensive-minded concentration that needs in the other roles. So we'll see. But I mean, he did perfectly well today. Jakob did really well, and probably the one person who then really does deserve mentioning, or two really, are in that back four. Barley Mumba was excellent at right back. I haven't seen the Preston goal back, so I do need to see that again. But by and large, I thought Barley was very good in a side where he was given a lot of space by Preston, so that helped. There was one moment where he brought the ball out brilliantly in the second half, so there's lots of good stuff there. I would imagine Max comes straight back in for Huddersfield if he's available, but the situation will be different, I would imagine, for Andrew Omobamidele, who 18 years old, coming in at centre-back for his first proper championship appearance, really, his full senior debut. And to be honest, I mean, the goal came off him, I think. I haven't seen it, but I think it came off him through his legs. I don't know if there's much he really could do about that. And it was a real shame, and I think should really be kind of forgiven, because I thought he was outstanding, to be honest, in terms of what he did. I thought he was strong. I thought he was good in the air. I thought he was careful with the ball. I don't think there was a great deal of, big spraying of passes or anything, but maybe that wouldn't be expected. But defensively, I thought he was really sound in a game where Preston were pretty awful, to be honest. So we probably got that opportunity to be comfortable in the game, and he'll have to do it again and come Huddersfield, and it will be a different test. But he's now going to get a run. Hopefully Grant Hanley stays fit, because obviously Christoph Zimmerman and Ben Gibson are both out probably for the rest of the season, certainly in Gibson's case. So we will see, but great for Andrew. Really promising, really strong and comfortable, and great to see, and hopefully something that continues over the coming weeks. He's going to get a lot of tests. The second game, I tend to find, can be harder than the first sometimes in these situations, because the adrenaline's not there, but your concentration has to be, and it can be difficult. Certainly in terms of debuts, in terms of coming back from injury, that's how I tend to find it. Certainly, the ongoing games, keeping that consistency. But really promising signs, and good on him. And we'll let the goal give, because what was he to do about that? So yeah, there we are. I think we can all forget this one, move on. We'll see what we get on Tuesday night. It's 2 draws from winning positions for Norwich. It's far from a disaster. And the sooner Norwich get to 90 points, the better. So I think that's what we're all looking forward to, of course. In the meantime, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Ping any comments and questions you wish in wherever you can, wherever you're watching this. Feel free to subscribe. Check out The Athletic. There'll be loads of stuff on there, of course, and some really good stuff from the international break if you haven't caught it. So give it a look back. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves. Happy Easter to you all. And I will see you hopefully at Carrow Road on Tuesday evening, hopefully for 3 points rather than 1. Certainly not none. See you later. Take it easy.